Beautiful rising, everybody. Beautiful rising. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Another day of Verdict Watch, day 4. Hoping that there's not many questions today and we can just get a nice not guilty verdict for both Shannon Stillwell and Diamante Kendrick. Um, Welcome everybody on YouTube. Welcome Nick over here. Even if you're just tapping in, thank you for coming over. Sha, hey Sha Diggy. We got Ganja in the room. We have Miss Angie. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. Um, this morning, I guess again, we're just on a wait. Um, what do you guys think is gonna happen, especially with the questions that came through yesterday? Between the questions yesterday and the questions prior, where do you think their mind is at? It's interesting, and I was mentioning on X, but I really am baffled because when we were talking about them using lyrics in the court cases, people were, telling me to just, oh, that's nothing, you're making a big deal about it. They're not actually going to use it to deliberate. Nobody's ever been convicted off of lyrics before. And then, yesterday, they wanted to hear two songs, Lizard Walk and BS. And I really would like to know what they were listening for. I want to know what made them, want to hear those songs in particular. That's something that is very startling to me because people said, "Oh, it won't happen," and here we are. So that's something. If you guys were watching yesterday, and if you've been tuned into this case, you will hear Doug Weinstein speak about the Rap Act. It is a bill that is currently on the Congress floor um, to protect and create a barrier for lyrics being able to be used in court cases. Now, clearly that's federal, but as Doug stated, if you guys go to your local legislators, things like that, because this is not the only case this has happened in, they've used lyrics in a number of cases. Um, and I feel like it's only going to get worse, and that's attack on freedom of speech. That's your First Amendment right, especially when it comes to art, not just freedom of speech, but art. We can't patrol art, man. We can't patrol art. And if we make it a consistent thing, that becomes a very bad thing. A very, very bad thing. Um, Again, I know that Yak is healing, but prayers to him. You don't just get stabbed and everything goes back to normal the next day. So many prayers goes out to him and his mom and Shannon's whole family and Shannon himself as well, because this is a tough time. And to Doug and to Max and to I feel so bad I cannot think of the other lawyer's name, but prayers to him and Kokomo. And I know that this time not only stressful, it can get a little boring as well because everybody's sitting around and they're waiting. Um, but I pray for peace, and I pray that whatever anxiety may be going through Yak's mind or Shannon's mind, that it be calmed, and that the jury's mind can be calmed to make a very clear decision. Not guilty. So we're just waiting for we never know when they'll start as far as actual court stream. Maybe they'll start in about 10 minutes, maybe they'll start in about an hour, who knows. But we are here. I will come on every so often and chat it up. I don't have any videos to show today, although I obviously may go grab some. I do want to do some reactions though to some tweets I mean. So I may do that sometime in the next hour or two if there's nothing going on in court. But I'd love to know what your guys' predictions are. Tell me in the chat if you're over on X. I do see the comments on X, so if you're on X and want to respond, you can comment and I'll grab that. And obviously, if you're on YouTube, talk it up to me. Let's talk about Shady Love yesterday. Let's talk about it. What do you got to say? Let's see. Love, love was being love. Where is the love? Yesterday, not only she got up and left in the middle of conversation, she was trying to get the judge to put that call in without letting them know that it was not Shannon Stillwell. That to me is all the way to the end, huh, Adrian? Taking it all the way to the end. She said, fuck it, we're here now. She's that lady is diabolical. Her practices, I understand that people that are in the judicial system sometimes do things by any means necessary to get what it is they want, whether it's a conviction, whether it's somebody to say something or do something. And as I said throughout this entire trial, she is in the difficult witness division. And to me, the difficult witness division means you'll do things by any means necessary to do what you got to do. And she's displayed that. And yesterday, when those calls came in and they realized that it wasn't Shannon, and that is what the jury is deliberating, and you choose to say, oh, matter of fact, I'll bring it up, but you choose to say, let it in. And even Hilton just wanted it in. Can we just play the call? No, you got to let them people know what they listening to. That is the most misleading, manipulative, out of this world thing and they're on camera. So that's my whole thing. That's been my whole thing this whole time. You guys are on camera discussing these strategies that y'all be using, and they're all strategies that takes away people's rights. If Whitaker would have allowed that in without explaining that was not Shannon, you are taking away their rights to a fair trial and to be able to have a fair verdict. You're contaminating everything. And I understand we're at the end of the trial, so there's not motions that can be made. There's not things that can happen. But for those that are just tuning into this case and wonder why there's such uproar over this case, things like that. We're at the end of the trial, and the the chief deputy district attorney wants to continue to mislead the jury. How about those apples? Exactly, Ganja. It's always been about winning and not about justice for the families. Yep, they told these people, these families, that one witness, that they were all here to get justice. Justice, they said. That they were all here to get justice. I think that says a lot about Miss Love's character. Because we could say it's funny, oh, it's no funny about the case, but Miss Love put this case together, right? So when you look at the fact that she lied to the families and played on their emotions, I think that says a lot about that lady, that you would say, oh, come here so we can get you justice. When they told the witness that had half his head blown off, oh, if you come, you'll get justice, not knowing that his perpetrator was walking on the streets. You played on people's emotions for a conviction. That's terrible. That's terrible. It's terrible business. It's terrible business. I don't understand how Georgia, but hey, I guess if you were paying attention to me yesterday, you understand my take with Georgia. How Georgia can allow people's constitutional rights to be consistently violated. I think that says a lot about that state. The fact that I see it twofold, right? Because I see it as people saying, no matter how she got to get these folks off the street, they got to get them, Hey, Shadiggy, welcome. Welcome, baby. And it's like by any means necessary, right? And so when we talk about the older people and why they didn't vote Fonnie Willis out, and we talk about just in general why Fonnie is still there when so many people despise of her. But it makes me wonder, are the people that despise of her actually in Atlanta? Now, I ran into my handful of people that don't like her, and that's obvious. But I'm just wondering, are they looking at it like, well, she getting what they deem the bad guys off the streets, so it doesn't matter. People don't really care about people's constitutional rights until it's their constitutional rights, and then it's an issue. So that's where the other side of it goes when we talk about principles and ethics and all these different words. Everybody don't feel the same, right? So when we look and saw that throughout this entire case, Miss Love and Hilton, entire the Atkins and everybody over at that table, we're not leaving nobody out. The way that they've tried this case, because it's not just Miss Love, right? It's everybody. They're a team. It's a team effort. They are the state. They represent the state of Georgia. As a team effort, y'all failed. Y'all failed. Y'all failed. Y'all failed not only the case in general, y'all failed the fact that people were looking at this case from a judicial standpoint, and the way y'all went, I'm gonna use a page. The way y'all went about haphazardly presenting the case, I don't know. I don't know what y'all was shooting for, and I guess y'all was shooting for Glenville still being on the stand, and just sweeping everything until the Glenville pot, and he got it all, and he gonna handle it for y'all because that was the easy end. But violating people's constitutional rights is never okay, and that's what I stand for. I don't really dig that, and it happens every day. As I say often, it's not just Fulton County, it's not just Georgia, it's all over, right? People's rights are violated, but most people don't care until it's them, and so talking like how we talked yesterday, people say they won't change and this isn't right and yada yada yada, but then they also on the flip side said nothing's ever going to change. This is how it's always been. I think folks are confused with what they want out of life.
It's 8 hours.
And that's just being honest, because people say they won't change, but are afraid to change because of their complacency. People are afraid to say that they want to even see change for other people because they fear that whatever change is going to happen is going to interfere with their life as well. So people rather be silent and just let the way things happen continue. Because after this case, guess what? There's 12 more people that have to go again. I don't know if Love is obviously may or may. I don't know who's trying the case, but I know that Paige Whitaker, Honorable Paige Whitaker, is presiding over the case. So who's next to have their rights violated? I say all that to say. By Miss Love, right? Because again, we can always talk about Fonnie. Fonnie got her own set of stuff, and at 1 o'clock today, we will be watching, or at 12 o'clock Central, 1 o'clock Eastern. We will. I hopefully can find a stream to see how she's supposed to respond to these subpoenas that she's so above the law in doing. So we will be tuning into that in a couple hours. But Miss Love was the head on this, if I'm not mistaken. So her everything is on the table right now, and she don't look like a good dish. You feel me? We got to see Miss Love in all her glory, right? And her faces, and if somebody had a montage of just that, Jesus, like I was always told that the lawyers or even the state aren't supposed to make faces and aren't supposed to have these sidebar commentaries and all this other stuff. And Miss Love defied all the odds during this case. You always knew what she was thinking based upon her face, her body language, her tactics that she uses. Granted, get the criminals, right? But don't, if you can't do your job flat out and get them constitutionally and without evading people's rights, then the case should never happen. Because there are laws, statutes, codes, and rules for a reason. And if you can't abide by those laws, statutes, and rules, no matter who you are when it comes to prosecuting somebody, then that's just that. Try again, try again, try again, and do it properly. And if we as people don't root for other people's constitutional rights, again, it's not about guilty or innocent, it's about constitutional rights, because those rules are there for a reason. So that's what lawyers are there for as well, to call out the bullshit that the state brings, right? So welcome, Kristen. Hey guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to everybody that's tuned in on X and YouTube. If y'all tuned in on YouTube, chat it up. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Help me reach 500 subscribers, y'all. I'm new to this. I almost called that followers. Help me reach 500 subscribers on YouTube. I got a lot of content planned. All that. I got ADHD, so sometimes my brain go left, so forgive me. But welcome everybody. Welcome everybody over on X. Again, if y'all on X and y'all want to chat, I do see those chats as well. So type and I'll respond and all that good stuff. But constitutional rights, when you talk about, like a lot of people plead out, right? And they're pleading out because they didn't want to go home. B, they may think that the prosecutors have XYZ on them, this, then a third. But that's why you take it to trial, right? Because as we saw with this case, they may not have what they say they have. You feel what I'm saying? And when you take it to trial, you make them lay their shit on the table to say, show me what you got on me. Because when it comes to law and courts and prisons and this and that, it's not about what's been done. It's about what can be proven. I don't care who you are, the president, the guy next door, this and the third. It's about what can be proven. So if you say you got something on me, you got to prove it. You got to prove it in a constitutional manner. If you say I did this, prove it. And you got to prove it in a way that in this land of America, where we got rights and we got laws and statutes and codes, you as a prosecutor have to abide by that. I don't give a hell what's normal, what people used to. If I have a lawyer, I need my lawyer to fine tooth all of that, just like these lawyers in this case did. That is what they're there for. That is what they're there to advocate for you for. Let the lawyers handle that. They say the only folks you should be, honest with is your lawyer and your pastor. But even then, you got to watch out for pastor. But nevermore, when you're in a situation like this and you see other people's rights being violated, there's nothing to speak up. It doesn't cost you anything to speak up. You may think it does, but it doesn't. Because the next day it could be your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister. It could be you. Right? And I just want the jury. I really pray that the jury. We were talking about it on X, and I did say I want to bring that up. A lot of people feel that with the jury asking those specific questions, that then breeds reasonable doubt. So, I mean, they're already thinking about the Shamil Drinks murder, right? So, if they're thinking about that Shamil Drinks, then that means that they're kind of sort of maybe towards the end of that verdict form. I don't quite remember how it was put together, but do you think there'll be a verdict today? I honestly think there will be. I do. I'm with you, Ganja. I believe that they're confused as hell. But I do think, like I was saying, we're at the portion where they're asking about Shamil Drinks. So in those cars and wanting it to be rewound. I honestly, personally, I don't know what the holdup could be, unless yesterday they were talking about hung juries. People were saying that there may be, one or two that are swinging on not guilty. So it's like they're trying to explain like why. I'm trying to figure out, and I said it earlier about the lyrics. I want to know what they were thinking about. What um what made them want to hear those songs again? And like I said, people told me I was crazy. People told me, oh, they're not going to use the lyrics. Oh, me talking about lyrics is baseless. Oh, this is just something the defense is bringing up. No, these people just asked to rehear Lizard Walk and BX. They want to know what's in them songs. They want to know what's in them songs. Awesome, thanks. But yeah, Shadigi, thank you, Nick. And Shadigi, I definitely think they're confused. I don't think they're confused. I know they're confused. I don't even I don't know, guys. Then they wanted to hear those calls again. I don't know what they were listening for on those calls or those taps, to be quite honest. Um, it's wild because they had sat here because I think the jury been in about a year and a half, if I'm not mistaken, from choosing to sitting to going through the case. It's been about a year and a half. Welcome, Jay. Um, and but like between that year and a half, the people have seen so much more than they have. Oh, we got seal, guys. We got a seal. So I'm gonna kind of, y'all know how I am. Once that seal comes up, I fall back just a little bit, and I'm gonna let it do its thing. Shout out to Atlanta News First. But I believe I believe they're on the lives too. Seriously. I believe so as well. You can't miss it. It's everywhere. It's on all the news channels. It's on the radio. It's everywhere. Nick said he's blasting AC/DC, and then my voice goes well with that music. I like rock, alternative, love it all. I think they're so confused. But yeah, guys, I think today may be the day. I'd like to even say that it's by lunchtime. By lunch, I believe we may have a verdict. I don't think so. I think they're ready to go home, y'all, to be honest. And I think that some people in the jury room may be taking it serious. Other people don't really care at this point. Juror 56 is probably like, look, y'all, this is what it is. And some people may not be, I don't know. It's a lot up in air because it's a lot we don't know. It's a lot of variables, right? Because they started in their mind with six plus individuals when this case began, right? And they've had to listen to testimony after testimony and all these defendants, and then we get down to the final month, and now half the things that you heard have to be thrown out essentially, because now you have to solely focus on these two individuals. I don't know, man. I said when I started protesting that this was going to be an unfair trial, and there were many layers to it being an unfair trial. And the the curative jury instructions and all that was one. The misuse of the lyrics was two. The obvious prosecutorial misconduct was three. And the way that they would bogart on the witnesses, not only just the co-defendants, but there were other witnesses that came up that said that they were harassed and all this other stuff. It's like, this case was crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I definitely pray for a not guilty verdict for both Shannon Stillwell and Diamante Kendrick. I pray for the lawyer's peace of mind. I pray for the judge's peace of mind. Now, I even pray for the prosecutors. They going hard. They want that conviction so hard. But I just pray that moving forward that they find ethical practices injustice because they play with people's livelihoods, and that is not okay. So I'm gonna chill for a bit until we see some movement in the courtroom, guys. Again, thank you for tuning in. All 200 plus of you guys on X, aka Twitter, and those of you that like to constantly join me over here on YouTube and new people that's on YouTube today. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Help me reach 500 subscribers. Just a baby, just a little baby. I'm just trying to reach 500 subscribers. If you could tell your people, share my page. I do have a lot of content coming up. I am excited to join this space of YouTube, and y'all see my face and voice soon. I was on here yesterday, but I'm not ready to be on camera right now. So I won't be on camera until tomorrow. Tomorrow, that is right, tomorrow, Wednesday, I will be doing a live with Happily Angry Lawyer from Twitter, as well as Antonio Lee. You guys know them both. You guys, most of you guys that are on Twitter on YSL, hashtag YSL Trial Twitter, know and have seen them both if you've been in spaces. And tomorrow, whether we have a verdict or not, we will go all in on YSL Trial. The YSL Trial front to back, inside and out, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to break it down. So definitely come in. Make sure you hit the notification. You go to my channel right now, hit the notification so that you're aware when we start tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to go all in, y'all. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm about as nervous as everybody else when it comes to this verdict because we don't know what they're going to ask. When they ask for that video of that car to be put in reverse, reverse, I'm with everybody else. None of us thought about putting reverse. And none of us know why they want to have it put in reverse. So that's like the energy's up in here, right? It's crazy. I think what you did, I think what you did was a good thing, but a lot of people don't understand the meaning of peaceful. The last protest we had here in Atlanta was with Sharp Brooks, and people burned down the Wendy's and looted. Okay. I do understand. That makes sense. Now, when it comes to those types of protests, I've been in the middle of those types of protests before. And you know, when you look at it like that, sometimes you don't see the outcome that you want when you go rogue. And I'm not anti-rogue, but I'm also think when you think, think, guys, think. A lot of times, because you can't tell people how to protest, right? People go and protest how they protest, whether that's peacefully, whether that's going rogue and burning the shit down, whether that's just, you know, writing to Congress, or whether that's using, there's so many ways to protest, right? But, and so I will say that to say there's not a right way or a wrong way. See you later, Ganja. There's not a right way or a wrong way to protest. However, there is a way if you're actually trying. It's all about what is your end goal, right? What is your end goal when you protest, however you choose to protest? And I think in asking that question and making that statement is how you really gather people's why. Because when you go brainstorm, I'm in Chicago, right? So specifically doing George Floyd a couple years back, it was madness, right? Because it's not just here, there was everywhere, right? And I think after that, there was another for a gentleman that was killed by police. But I think honestly that was around the same time. The year was heavy. But people burnt down and looted the pharmacies, the grocery stores. You know, I understood when they went downtown and said, fuck it, fuck corporate America. That's how I started it from my perspective. You know, because these places have insurance, da 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 da. But when you take it back to Your own neighborhood, your own neighborhood, where your mama and your grandma and your uncle and grandpa and all of them need prescriptions. How the hell are they supposed to get their prescriptions, their food? When y'all decide to do that, y'all don't even go in with a plan. I'm all rage against the fucking machine. I'm with the shit, right? But go in with a plan. A plan. And a plan shouldn't be to destitute your own community when you seek to, know, riot or whatever you like to call it. When all that happened in Chicago, the Hispanic community in Chicago literally banded around each other and wouldn't let people come into their community to destroy their community, wouldn't let people, like, even in their areas. We went from day one that they held ground, right? Now, granted, some people got shot, some people it was a lot of shit, but that's from them protecting their community. But then when I saw from my community, and I won't say mine because I wasn't in my community during that time, but I was in someone else's. But what I saw in other communities, right? They were burning it down. The gas stations, the corner stores, the grocery stores, the pharmacies. They looting. They doing this, and that leaves you then destitute and your people destitute and needing. Because it's not like y'all grabbing that shit and then putting it back into the community. So when you protest, how, like, for me, it was peaceful, right? I'm simply trying to get a point across, and then moving forward, there's other actions being taken, and now there's various people in positions in, I guess, state representatives and things like that I'm able to just talk to about how to create change and community organizations and things like that. And that's what I see forth, right? Because we really do got to get Fonnie and Love out, right? Y'all didn't vote Fonnie out, so you got to work another angle to get her out. And Love, she needs to be fired or reprimanded or seriously admonished or sanctioned because of her actions. So, my end goal, and the people that I'm working with, that's our end goal, is to actually get them out, not just talk about it, not just protest. The protest was the beginning. So, she said they looted from LV, Montclair, etc. The hell they all in Buckhead for? The Wendy's is where the lady was unalived, where SB was on university. Right. I mean, they're looting. They were looting. That's the same thing they were doing in Chicago, Michigan Avenue. They were looting all up and through everything. And like they said, that those places have insurance. They're larger stores. But what was the end goal, right? Because the end goal from a lot of that stuff that happened was them changing the labels on the Aunt Your Mama, syrup and new street signs and shit like that. What was that the goal? I'm just asking. Was that the goal?
Good morning. Our court reporter's still getting set up, so I'm just going to get myself on Zoom and things like that. We'll start after she's ready. Oh. Maurice, there's no Rule 22 for this, and this needs to not be televised because we don't have everybody dressed out. Did you already submit that? Is that live stream?
They just told me to come film it.
They told you what?
They told me to come film it, but
Who told you that? Okay, well, it's not up to them, and really, none of that should have happened. I thought that was clear with the deputies yesterday because not everybody is dressed out. People in jail garb.
So, guys, what I think is taking place, I believe that was the second part of the YSL trial, the other 12 that we spoke about. As you can see, they had on their county blues. From what I heard, and if anyone else was tuned in from what you guys probably heard, Paige Whitaker say that there's no Rule 22 for that case. So with there being no Rule 22, I'm assuming because we're on verdict watch for the other trial, I guess we just have to wait until the verdict comes back because it's obviously they're in the same courtroom. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm okay with saying I don't know. If you're on YouTube or if you're over on X, if you know what the deal is, tap in with your girl. Let me know. So, guys, I don't know. So I don't know if we're just gonna wait around. But all the news stations are in there currently. Um, and Maurice is the stream that everybody gets their streams from, which is Crime Law and Crime, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken, but hopefully I'm not mistaken. But his one camera is the camera that, if it's not like the Zoom camera, the actual production camera, his camera is that camera. So if he's not able to film, then nobody's able to film, essentially. Um, the judge said there was no Rule 22. So I think that's going to be very, very, very detrimental to the next YSL trial if the cameras can't be in there. I think that they hopefully Fox and Law and Crime and all those, they put in those petitions for the Rule 22 and enforce the fact that that should be an open courtroom as well. I believe that we should be able to see that. Um, I don't know, guys. When it comes to waiting on a verdict, I guess we're still waiting. Like I said, I think it's possible that they're in the same courtroom um, or whatnot. Uh, okay, so Kathy Rasan says the remaining YSL defendants that were severed out of the trial for various reasons have a hearing today at 9:30 in front of Judge Whitaker. We will live stream that on the YSL Verdict Watch link. Okay, so they were live streaming that, but because there was no Rule 22, it won't be filmed. So I'm assuming that after this hearing with those that were severed from the trial, um, we'll go back to Verdict Watch and we'll go back to the seal and things of that nature. But I don't think that they're gonna let us see this hearing, which I think they should. We will not be seeing the hearing from the others. Let's see. Hmm. So we wait, and I'm sure many of us are waiting. Wait, it's the waiting game, guys. I thought we had some action, but we wait. Yes, so Kathy says that the remaining YSL defendants that were severed out of this trial for the various reasons have a hearing today at 9:30 in front of Judge Whitaker, and they'll live stream that. Got it. So that's what we're waiting on, is for them to be done with that. She clearly appears to not want the hearing streamed. She definitely sounded angry. So we wait, and y'all know how we do it over here on this channel. We're gonna put on some elevator music while we wait. We will continue to. I will keep up the other screen so that if something does happen, um, we'll be good to go. Um, but for now, y'all, we're gonna do what we do, right? Check back in, keep me up, keep your tab open, all that good stuff. And I'll be checking with you shortly at 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock Central, 1 o'clock Eastern. We will be watching Fonnie Willis's I guess subpoena from the Supreme Court. I guess they make a decision if she has to answer her subpoenas or not. So that's what we'll be doing. All right.
Yes, Kristen, I kind of figured that as well. I kind of figured that as well. And it wasn't like she had a basic response today. She sounded a little bit angry. So yeah, she don't dig it. She don't dig it at all. Okay, y'all, with a quick update. The judge has pushed the hearing back for the remaining defendants of the other part of the YSL trial that were severed until 10:30 a.m. Pacific. I'm sorry, I said Pacific. Until 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Kathy Rasan from Law and Crime says that she believes that the jurors have a question. So at this time, we are simply waiting on them to be allowed to get the cameras back on in the courtroom for the jurors' questions. So we wait. We continue to wait. Again, thank you for tuning in. If you're live on X or YouTube, I appreciate your energy. Thank you for being here. And the verdict watch continues.
right, good morning. Sure. All right, good morning, everybody. We have a verdict. We have two verdicts. And I do not want there to be any kind of disruption or disturbance in court, regardless of what this verdict is. So can we get the jury out, please?
All rise for the jury. Pause, your president accounted for.
All right, thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I understand that you all have reached a verdict. Mr. Foreperson, is that correct? All right, and was it unanimous? All right, and this verdict has been filled in and signed and dated by you, correct? Or on for each defendant. All right, and I noticed that Mr. Kendrick's verdict form is dated December 2nd. Is that because that's when you all reached the verdict with regard to him? Okay, and then Mr. Stillwell's is dated today. Okay. All right, Mr. Kendrick, you have been found not guilty on all charges. Mr. Stillwell, can you please stand? You have been found guilty on count 64, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and not guilty on every other charge. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you are officially released from further service, and I cannot express the degree of thanks that Fulton County owes you for your service. Given the length of this trial, you have paid close attention this entire time, and I appreciate your devotion, as I'm sure do the parties in this case. You are welcome to stay for the sentencing, or you can return to the jury room. I would like to speak with you in just a moment in the jury room. If you all do want to stay, you're welcome to stay. Is there any objection to the form or the legality of this verdict?
No.
Any from the defense? All right. All right. Is there any reason that we can't go ahead and sentence? You may. right, so are we going to go ahead with sentencing? Is the state, I know the state had filed a recidivist notice. Do y'all intend to stand on that? All right. So the recidivist is A and C recidivist. That means that I have no discretion but to sentence to the maximum on that count. And the sentence possibility is 5 to 10. I must sentence to 10 years. However, I can probate any part of that sentence at my discretion. And so the court sentence on count 64 for Mr. Stillwell is going to be 10 years to serve 2 with credit for time served, the balance served on probation. All right, I am going to recess. I'm going to recess for a moment, and we will reconvene on the status conference in a few minutes.
Y'all. They're going home. Home for the holidays. It might not have been Thanksgiving, y'all. But hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm over here crying. Give me 2 seconds. That's after class. If y'all hear her, that's after class on the phone. Oh, man. Ooh. Oh, man, y'all. Man, I am over here in tears. You hear me? After classes on the phone with me. It's been a wild ride, y'all. It's been a wild ride, and both of them are going home. Even though Shannon got guilty of the possession of a firearm and possession of a felon, she sentenced him to she could, which was 10 years, but to serve 2, and that 2 is on time served, so they both will be going home. They both will be going home. They both will be going home. Whew, y'all, I have. I'm speechless, and I'm just glad that the jury was able to make the right decisions. And as you see, yesterday they had already found Diamante not guilty because his paperwork said the second. They needed to watch that video for Shannon. And outside of everything else, we got a not guilty. Not guilty, not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. He has to do, probation and things of that nature. But they going home, baby. Home for the holidays. It may not have been Thanksgiving, but they are home for Christmas. They are home, hopefully, for the rest of their lives. And I hope that these young men understand that they got a second chance at life and make the best of it. I am over here crying, y'all, because it's a lot. But yeah. Whew. It's a lot of energy, y'all. A lot of us have been following this case for the past 2 years, the past year, since this summer. It weighed on a lot of people. This trial became a lot of people's everyday life. And to know that those young men are able to walk free and get a second chance at life and a do-over, essentially, is a blessing from God. And I pray that they take this opportunity and run with it. Run with it. thank you guys for tuning in. I will come back a little bit later today. I gotta gather myself though. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm so happy to know that these men will be able to walk free and get a second chance. Yeah. So hope you guys have the rest of your day. I know there's a lot of other people that are streaming and stuff right now. Definitely go tap in with all of them. If you're on YouTube right now, tap in. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button. It's not guilty, y'all. Amen.